Hey, it's MK, and I am here with Off the Board and Mixed Media Mayhem, and this is my this is my inspiration piece, which I was so excited to do. And then also too, I'm joining Iron Crafters Challenge using some punches, or a punch, I think. And then I'm also using my leftovers from April 2025's, I want to say week 2's, week 3's kit. I'm sorry, I missed the intro. So I've got a rainbow of colors that I would like to add, and most of these colors were picked from the shirt that Janet is wearing. I definitely wanted to draw attention to all of that color, and especially with the dress being a rainbow of color. So these two punches came from Creative Memories, and I will talk about how they work. They're a little bit on the different side compared to any other punch that I have ever used. These are the 3 papers that I have picked out from my leftover kit, and then this was just a white piece of cardstock that I went and mixed media read. Now this pre-done stencil actually reminded me of the ruffles in the dress. I don't even know where this was, but luckily it was hanging around to call my attention going, use me, because of the fact that I absolutely loved the fact it just looks like the ruffles in the dress. Anyways, and then these embellishments here, they're from Spectrum Gardenia. I've got the die cut pack as well as this laser cut, hoping to bring in some rainbow colors. Now, you guys know me. I am not very good at doing the rainbow thing. It doesn't matter, what hue or saturation it is. I just don't do the rainbow thing very well, but I'm going to try to. So I've got all of my colors. I'm going to put them in 2 different sections, just using my blender brushes. Nothing fancy, nothing too messy, but I already did the texture paste. Now, this was actually Nuvo drops when I created this particular stencil. I actually did several prints of this. So I've got one on black, one on white, and I think I had leftovers on my desk, and so I just did several different stencils using the same Nuvo drops. I believe is what my excuse was, because I had this print about 3 different times, plus the one that I actually ended up using for some sort of video somewhere. I don't know. This was from last year, you guys. And that's why I'm saying I have no idea how convenient this was, just being in my face at the right time. All right, so I am working my way down my ruffles. Per se. Oh my gosh, I was so excited when I saw how perfect this was. And of course, look, I got a fingerprint. Yay. That just means that that's going to have to be an embellishment. It's going to be great. I don't know yet. I'm winging it here. This is just what I had in my brain. At first, I debated about cutting each little section out and then actually making it in, layering it like it is on the dress. But then I thought, no, I really like this pie shape. I really like what I've got going on here. So I am going to go ahead and squirt it with some water, use my paper towels to pick up that paint. Now for me, I like to pick up the paint, it's not paint, you guys, it's ink. I like to pick up the ink right away. I don't like it sitting in and on top of my project for too long. And then this piece here, it's just going to be used as is. I'm just trying to decide, do I want more of the warmed up? No. Do I want more of the warms covered up, or do I want more of the cools covered up? And I definitely wanted the warms because of the fact that I'm going to be matting my photos on this orange paper because of Sandy's very bright orange t-shirt. I am going to cut off as much of the frame. I don't know why they decide to put these frames on. I blew up my picture so that way you couldn't even see the whole frame anyways. Just trying to get as big of a print as I can. I wish they'd give us the option of whether or not we wanted to buy one with the frame or without. I mean, it's our money, right? Let us buy the ones we want, but it's okay. I do like the ones at each little island, or port, I should say. Some of them aren't islands. But I like the ones at each port because of the fact that it, has kind of like that mood and feel for each port and the name of it and all that other good stuff. But for this one here, I wish they'd give us the option of frame or no frame, in all honesty. So this was from our very, very first cruise, you guys, back in 2024. And so excited. I'm stoked that Sandy was able to join us. It just was so fun. We got to hang out. It was my very first cruise ever, and so I had no clue what to expect, only what other people say. I mean, just honestly. Okay, so this was my first time using this punch, and I had to cut away for a hot minute because my paper was wet. And I foobarred the punch, so I had to go and clean it out because something got stuck in it. And then I ended up punching several white sheets in order to get it to work correctly. And then I just came back and punched the rest of the green. And now I'm using this punch. Now this punch is a 3-step punch. It not only punches the inside circles, but it also embosses and then punches the outside. So normally when I do a single punch like this, I flip it over and I get the max amount I can out of my blah, blah, blahs, out of my paper. But this one, because of it being a 3-step punch, all I really see are the little holes at the bottom. So I really couldn't get the maximum that I wanted out of those papers. So since I punched out all of these white little leaves, I decided that I am going to go ahead and ink them up and use them anyways, because why not? They were there. When I ink something like this, I do put a piece of washi tape down and try to hold my paper down so that way I don't end up squishing it, rubbing it, moving it, and it's just a pill to try to keep still. Plus then I end up bending it, ripping it. I mean, it just becomes a disaster. So putting down this washi tape definitely helps when you don't have a pre-inked piece like what I had in the darker green leaves. That was just a leftover, lucky me, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. But for this one, I was trying to fix my punch, so I didn't really know what I was going to do and whether or not I was going to use them. But hey, they were there, and I might want a lot of leaves on this layout. Who knows? I am going to be using some of these leaves to cover up some of the images that were left from the frame. Yeah, they have one of those. It's not just a perfect frame all the way around the picture. It's got things protruding into the actual picture. And so a lot of these will be used to cover those little pieces up. Like I have a section of a ship and then a light bulb from an anglerfish, which I love, you guys. I love the anglerfish. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just use whatever ink is on my brush and try to darken up those darker leaves and give them a little bit more of a green. They feel too blue to me. So I was just trying to do that. And then I'm cutting off all of the leaves that really aren't leaves. They're just weird pieces. So, and then I'm going to spray those, hurry up and take that ink away, and I'm super happy with how those turned out. I love my distress inks and oxides, you guys. They are just fabulous. I don't know. They're fabulous. I do need a new black one, but other than that, I have not had to replace or re-ink any of those. And I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lighter leaves only because of the fact that I have more of them. And I think that the darker ones will really steal the show, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I feel like the darker ones are going to, they just needed a little bit more brighting. Yep, that's a new word that I invented today. So anyways, like I said, I wanted to make sure that the anglerfish light bulb got covered up, and then those cruise ships that were protruding into the picture got covered up. So that's why I went for those first, just to see what I had as far as leftovers for the rest of my leaves. And then as I see that I am done kneading the leaves, like I covered up my fingerprint, I covered up the protruding images, and now I feel like, okay, I can play with my leaves. So here's where this is where I bomb at rainbows, you guys. So my first thought is that I was going to pick a couple pieces from each color that matched the color wheel, and put that color with that color, like a lot of designers do. A lot of people do this. It looks fabulous. I absolutely love it. I, on the other hand, have a hard time using it. Now, my crackling campfire is more of an orangey red, so this red isn't exact, and I don't have everything glued down. I definitely could have went back through and re-inked it in a red, but honestly, this is the perfect red that was in Janet's shirt. And so in the picture, she's probably going to go, no, it wasn't. It was red, and has the shirt to prove it. But in the picture, and what I can see in the picture, this red matched beautifully. And so I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to call it red and then pick out a couple red pieces, but not too much to where they are, like it takes away from the orangey red, if that makes any sense. So that's where I was going to go with that. I've got this really cool peachy light orange color, which I really like. It's not a vibrant Halloween orange, so I really like that. I'm going to pull out a film strip so I could just add to my little cluster I have going up at the top. And then, of course, add some more of these, I don't know, they look like notebook paper edges, and whatnot, and add one for each color. I have orange, red, blue, and green that I can work with. I don't really add any yellow because there's a very teeny tiny microscopic little piece of yellow. I think I end up adding the yellow here with the gold, and I think I add some, I don't remember, but I think I add some enamel dots, but don't quote me on that. Let's just watch and find out. We'll figure it out together, right? So these are uber old. I don't even know how old they are, but they're the stick stayed on. It stayed on that little plastic carrier sheet. So I'm gonna have to glue all of these pieces, which is not a big deal. It's still a very usable item. It's just annoying. And I'm gonna use this word unforgettable and follow the center line of my pie chart. I love this, you guys. I really do. I love how, I don't know, I just like how it all came together. And then I'm going to use the word real life. And so it's going to say real unforgettable life, which I thought was fabulous. I was just trying to look for a giant title. I did not want to use just something little teeny tiny. I figured I've got all this space, and so I definitely wanted to use a title. I'm pulling out some enamel dots and trying to pull out very little enamel dots because I want to do a rainbow of enamel dots. Like I said, I am not very good at this at all. I will admit I definitely need some help. In the rainbow department. I definitely do. Okay, so I'm going to put 3, maybe 6, fill up the whole. I've been trying my hardest, you guys. When I have a little sheet like this, I want to use them all up, just because of the fact that I'm done hoarding. I'm done hoarding my enamel dots. I know I've said that multiple times, but it's true. It's just one of those things that I can't do it anymore. There's no way that you can keep all of this stuff. And I don't know. And enamel dots was a bandwagon that I hopped on, and I liked it at first, and then it just did not work its way into my workflow. And so I have to force myself to remember to use them. I have to make a mental note that says, hey, you've got this product that, for one, I'm tired of having hang around. honestly, I love them. They look amazing once I actually remember to use them, but I've just never been able to work them into my workflow. So I'm trying to use them up. And when I do, it's going to be a whole strip, like the whole part of that color or that little bit. So that's just me. All right, you guys. So that is my layout for today. I love it. Oh my gosh, the pre-made piece just couldn't have been better. All right, as usual, I've got all the links down below. I have an Iron Crafter playlist, an Off the Board playlist, and a Mixed Media Mayhem playlist. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it. And I will check you guys all later. Bye.